What am I? Empty. Emptiness. Nothing. All gone. Free form. Body in body. Flesh and no flesh. Pain and no pain. Infinite and freed and wild and here, ready, born, waiting to see that in the world. What is this place? Space, wide and open and free and empty and filled with all things true and real and made, obscured by delusion and repetition of seeing and not seeing and refraining and denying and swallowing in it all, as if that were nothing, as if it did not create something, and yet you did not see it. I did. I paid attention to it every time. Dug it out of veins and vines and weeds and earth and discovered it. A jewel glistening in moonlight, singing its own song. But I could hear it this time. Recognise the tune it plays over and over and over. And now I hear nothing else. I see all else and feel all else, yet still the jewel persists, singing its melody beneath it all. It cannot be unheard, not for any of us, and yet we resist it. That singing jewel, that incessant siren that persists through it all, beneath the drums and the crashing and the flashing lights and the delusion of it all. We wonder where that noise comes from, that constant, that one sweet singing chime that forever persists, insists on your attention, and yet we turn away. But what if you were to stand still amongst the wild winds and the wailing faintly raging, and the waves and the rocks and the stone of it all churning about you and throughout you? What if you could stand still for a moment amongst the screaming and the chaos and breathe deep and hear it, that sweet singing chime that enjoys, that direct line to calmness in all this. Awareness. In terms of mindfulness, awareness is anything which you can notice, anything which you are aware of. Anything which you can notice. Now, in terms of our meditative practice or mindfulness, there's a term which is intrinsic awareness. And intrinsic awareness is the learned ability or skill to discern an object instantaneously, to recognize, to understand the nature of an object instantaneously, without thought, without question, without doubt. Awareness is any object, anything, and by object we mean a thought, a feeling, a thing, a memory, something that you see, something that you hear, something that you feel. That is what we mean by object. Awareness is anything, any object that you can be aware of, that draws your attention. Intrinsic awareness, that's a skill that we develop as we develop our meditative practice. Intrinsic awareness is the instantaneous recognition, understanding of the true nature of an object that is observed, felt, thought, remembered. If you go to Key Wisdom on Instagram this weekend, I will post the different levels of meditation, starting with the preliminary practices and then ending with what we call the generation and perfection stages of meditation. Intrinsic awareness is something that we gain through going through the different stages of meditative practice, through the preliminary practices, the inner and outer tantra, and then on to the generation, and then finally the perfection stage of meditation. A Buddha or enlightened person would be at that stage. Someone who does not have attachment. I will not go into that. This is just day one, right? Remember, this is day one. But head over to Instagram at Key Wisdom, and I will put a picture on there so you can understand what I talk about when I mean that. So this is your first lesson, I suppose, your first video. Essentially, it's for you to relax. It's for you to reflect. It's for you to consider. And that is all. That is all it is for you to do. A space for you to reflect, to allow you to be aware, to consider what awareness is to you. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I hope that I see you back on this YouTube channel on Monday, which is my next post. Next week I'll be posting a conversation with Karma on Wednesday, which I can't wait for, but another video on Monday as well. So subscribe, please, hit the bell for notifications, and head over to Key Wisdom on Instagram, which is my page, for additional details. It's not there now, but it will be on there by the weekend. Okay, peace.